Welcome. This session is powered by Global Talent Solution, supported by leaders of all nations, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, Helping Hand Foundation, Explore London, Global International Alliance, Ladies of All Nation, Global Foundation, RM Infinite and Dream Bigger. Today's host is Dr. Jaya Sajnani, and the guests are Sunny Gurnani and Tara Pilling. Enjoy the session.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Jaya Sajnani, and I am here to first of all thank you for joining today with us on our fourth episode of the Business Strategy Program. Today's session is about innovative thinking, which means you will learn today how to navigate business growth through the innovations, through the innovative ideas. And my name is Dr. Jaya Sajnani. I'm a mom, entrepreneur, founder of YG Travel. I'm an author, public speaker, helping hand organization YG Travel, Explore London. Those are the bits of the adventures I have done so far. And I am also a co-founder of Global Talent Solution Hub. Yes, GTS. GTS is a non-profit organization with a vision of paving the path of the future where talent knows no boundaries. Yes, you have heard right to me. We are dedicated to creating an environment where talent has no boundaries, regardless you belong to which race, gender, ethnicity, or country even. I would like to express my huge gratitude to our supporter. Without them, this project would not be possible. So our first supporter, very most, is the Loani, which is the Leaders of All Nation International, founded by Dr. Professor Caroline Makaka. The another organization who's supporting us is the GIA, which is a Global Institute Alliances, and what they do, they honor the doctorate degrees to the humanitarian people. They find the fine people who has done amazing work in a humanitarian area. We have another one, which is a GSFE, Global Society for Female Entrepreneurs, founded by Dr. Robbie Motor in USA. And then the last but not least, Dream Bigger Institute and RM Infinitive, who are in publications. And Dr. Randy Ward and Masood are the founder of this organization. So before we start today's session, which is innovative thinking, navigate business growth through the innovations, I would like to request all of you to stay muted until we ask you to unmute yourself or when the time comes to the question and answer. Now, as you all been waiting for, the moment to start today's session, here you welcome our today's first speaker, Tara Pilling. Welcome, Tara, to the floor at the GTS session. Let me tell you a little bit about the Tara Pilling. And trust me, this is the 1% of the experience I'm going to quote here, what she's having it for years of this. So Tara explored the informative journey of the Tara Pilling, led a beacon of the positivity and growth, whose path was illuminated by the profound personal experience. She's driven by a thirst for understanding and healing. Tara delved into the holistic practice, into like yoga and meditation, and after facing challenges early in her life. With a couple of certification in Tara blends expertise with the compassion. Guided by mentor like Bob Proctor, Tara is dedicated to unlocking the boundaries and potential within individuals, inspiring them to reach new heights. Extensive experience Tara holds in physical and occupational therapy. She is rooted in the serene beauty of the British Columbia in Canada. Tara finds joy in family life, embrace education, advocating for the personal and global transformation through alignment with the universal law. So Tara, welcome to the floor. 15 minutes is yours. Please enlighten us with your experience of how you have created this amazing multi-million business from your innovative idea.
So thank you for the introduction. I'm also an author and a speaker. So I've written 3 international best-selling books. And yeah, I've spent extensive time as a personal student of Bob Proctor's and Tony Robbins and many other incredible mentors. today's conversation is around innovative thinking in business. And I think that, when you look at business, whether it is a restaurant, a doctor's office, or whether you're running some sort of a foundation, it's so important to take a look honestly at the results that you're getting, because our results never lie in business. And I think that as business leaders, success and failure always trickles from the top. You can't blame the cleaners of your business. It's so important when you're looking at the operation of your business to, if let's say the finances aren't coming in, or there is some communication issues, you've got to take an honest look at those things and realize that there's something, again, around the leadership. It's so important when you're looking at businesses. It's all about leadership, and that's a big part of what I teach and how I guide individuals and businesses and corporations. So I've had my timer open. I want to make sure I'm not going over my time. Okay, so when I was thinking about sharing this with you, it really brings up the law of thinking, because this is innovative thinking, and there are laws that govern us, and these are the laws of the mind. And when you look at the law of thinking, mental activity, by the way, does not mean you're thinking. Thinking, and as a leader and as a business leader, is when you're thinking from within. We always say, as within, so without, as within. So all you have to do, again, is take a look honestly at the outside, and it's going to be a reflection of whether you're thinking, like really thinking. There's a quote by George Bernard that I like that says, 2% of people think, 3% think they're thinking, and 95% of people would rather die than think. So you have to really think about that, when you take an honest look at your business, like, are you thinking? And everybody is selling a service, a product, or an idea. Everybody, it doesn't matter. You could even apply this to your home. Take an honest look at your home, right? The outside is just an expression of what's going on the inside. So if you want to get better results, you got to really start thinking, but you got to think from within. You've got to start taking an honest look at what's going on within yourself. So, even as I was thinking about this conversation, it's all about the leader. As a leader of a business, and again, I don't care if it's a small business, a big business, even if it's your home, you got to take a look at what's going on within you. Are you growing? I think that's a really important thing to highlight, is really being in growth mindset. We're either growing and we're moving forwards and we're moving towards really big goals, or we're going backwards and we're slowly dying. And I think that what we're seeing right now on the planet, because we're definitely feeling a lot of chaos, is that consciousness is shifting. There's one quote I always share with my students, and that is that there is no causes other than your own state of consciousness. So the consciousness is shifting. If you are not shifting, if you are not thinking and really thinking outside the box in your business right now, you are going to be in big trouble, because things are moving really fast. Just think of even the rollout of AI. One of my friends is Mo Gaward. He was the chief engineer for Google, and I've been learning a lot about AI, and it's here to stay. We've got to really start thinking. And even when you look at the rollout of things like AI does not need a programmer. You are the programmer. So if you don't have your internal aligned, if your mind is not right, you're going to be in big trouble, because it's just going to, that's the way AI works, is it operates from you. It doesn't need a programmer now. So there is the things to be aware of around that. And it's so important that we get ourselves right, especially when we're looking at problem solving in business and being able to serve and support our customers and really showing up. But it's all about, like, I even know for my business, and I've ran multiple businesses, it's about me being right. It's about, first of all, when you're thinking, You're not reacting, you're responding. There's a responsive energy. In this space, you're thinking from your higher mental faculties. And we teach on this, and we teach on the laws and the mind and how to harmonize. Higher mental faculties, you have the ability to dream. That's one of your 6 higher mental faculties, your imagination. Unfortunately, most people use their imagination against themselves. So if you're running your business and you're just thinking about debt, guess what? The laws don't care that you don't want debt, but when you're thinking about debt, you're going to get more debt. So you want to harmonize with those big goals and those dreams, and you want to be thinking about prosperity, right? So you've got to really start thinking from those higher mental faculties. We have 6 of them. So it's imagination, perception, reason, memory, intuition, and will. So most people haven't even heard of the higher mental faculties. Now, when you're not getting the results that you want, there's a lot of reactivity, and you can see that in business, and you can see that in yourself as a leader. Reactivity, you're going in the wrong direction. We definitely don't want to be operating from our lower mental faculties, which are senses. When we operate out of our lower mental faculties, we're not thinking. It makes us no different than a pig or a horse. Our senses are there to protect us, but we've got to strengthen the we just call them spiritual gifts or higher mental faculties. And that's when we're really thinking. Now, there's no better time, friends, to start thinking in your business than right now. Even if you look at other, times on the planet where we went through challenges. And of course, I mean, many businesses felt that in the last 3 years. By the way, if you weren't thinking and you didn't have order is heaven's first law. That was Thomas Troward. If you didn't have order in your business, if you were not leading from within, if you were not a real leader, then of course it showed up the last 3 years. If you cannot innovate, if you could not be creative and use your imagination, again, using these higher mental faculties, many people, I heard that a lot, where many people were quite upset and having to close businesses. That was a time, and we've had that before. This isn't our first rodeo on this planet. Those times are when we've got to go within. We've got to get the order within. We've got to create, we've got to be in growth mindset. We've got to get our mind right. And there's no better time than right now to create better businesses, to create better ideas, better products, better ways of thinking and operating, better movies, better books. This is a time of betterment. It's really exciting when you're looking at innovative thinking in your business and opportunities to grow. Again, we're growing. We as spiritual beings, we're here to grow. We're here to expand. So this is where, we got to start really thinking versus operating out of an old program. We just call these paradigms that are not working. We've really got to start thinking with a new mindset, and we've got to be forward thinking. Reverse thinking is failure. That's where we're stuck in the old hurt. That's where we're stuck in old models that don't work. We've got to be forward thinking. And that's part of like who we are, is to be forward thinking, upward bound thinking. It's part of our subconscious. So when you understand, and I teach around the mind and the subconscious, is your subconscious, and what makes you who you are, that part of you, that spirit wants you to win. I just call it God, but you could call it Allah or Krishna. I mean, we're non-denominational. As you were saying, Dr. Jaya, it's whatever you believe. You could call that universal intelligence or energy, but I just call it God wants us to win, wants us to succeed. But God doesn't do the work for us. We've got to do that internal work. So it's so important that we start thinking. When we're thinking from within, when we're being innovative thinkers, we're responding. We're looking at how can I do this better? And one thing that I know for me, being a business leader, having a team of phenomenal leaders, is it's so important that the team leader is developing those below them. You've got to develop them, and you got to make sure that you're putting people into the right places. I mean, what are their unique talents and abilities? And then getting them to get uncomfortable and to learn and to grow. It's so important. But it all comes down to leadership. I mean, we're either leading or we're failing, and we have to take an honest look at that. And our results are just a reflection of our subconscious programming. We've all been programmed genetically and environmentally. So if we want to get better results, we got to do the internal work. And for me, when I'm working with any business, again, it doesn't matter if it's a business or an individual. The first thing I want to know is like, what's the most you've ever made? What are the challenges you're experiencing? I want to know the results, because the results is a reflection of their consciousness. And remember, there's no causes other than your own state of consciousness. And the world is going fast. We know that. I think that there's no better time to be alive personally right now, and to really start using the law of thinking, which is the law of the mind, and to start creating those better businesses. So I think my time is up. So I'm just going to end it there, because I could share for literally hours on this subject.
Yes, that's fantastic. Oh my God. Tara, you have certainly enlightened us. So we have around 300 plus live viewer at the moment who are watching you on the social media. And I am sure all the viewers, you have seen a lot and heard a lot from Tara. I have taken down the notes. I am not sure about you. I'm going to repeat my notes. If you have not taken down the notes, please right now take down the notes. So what Tara has explained us, brain activity is not the thinking. And that is amazing to learn. I always think that, okay, I'm thinking, that means I'm thinking. But here we are talking about innovative thinking. She has quoted amazing two quotes. I'm going to quote one because I remember that to note down, which is 2% of only people is thinking, and the 3% of the people think that they're thinking, but 95% of the people scared to death to the think. Wow, what an amazing enlightenment. I never thought about this, but yes. So according to Tara, what she's trying to explain us that have an honest look. Consciousness is the key to the innovative thinking, because growth mindset, and I can relate this, Tara, with me, my business, because being a business owner, being a business people, a leader, you always think about the debt which you have to carry and the pay. And yes, you're right that more you think, more you generate. So if I'm thinking about the debt, according to you, I am generating or attracting debt. And wow, this is something I learned today, and I am going to change my lifestyle, and I'm going to not think about the debt, but yes, consciously work on it. That is a separate issue. Tara has given us that how mind and subconscious makes us believe, and we are the result of what we're thinking. So if you want to learn more about how you align yourself, how you align your subconsciousness so that that can input your consciousness, your innovative thinking to your business idea, and how you can align your business or growth, expand by aligning yourself, please don't forget to contact Tara Pilling. She is from the Diamond Consultancy. She will be here rest of half an hour as well. Wow, our viewers are increasing. Now it's a time for our second speaker. So our second speaker here is again innovative thinker. His name is Sunny Gurnani. Welcome, Sunny. I am going to read out a few minutes of your bio. So whoever is watching us live, please don't forget to put in the comment, where are you logging in from? We want to hear your comment, whether you're logging in from which part of the world. So, Sunny, meet the Sunny Gurnani. He is a web wizard with a knack of performance, optimization, and a heart for sustainability. Is a co-founder of the Plant Veda, which is again, it's the public limited company in the Vancouver, registered in the Vancouver. He is the driving force behind the crafting scrumptious plant-based dairy products that have snagged multiple awards. From his days at the eBay, yes, he used to work, to his stints at a place for the mom and the retailer.com, Sunny has fine-tuned his skills in enhancing website speed and efficiency. Sunny doesn't just optimize the website, he pioneers it. At eBay, he led the charge in critical rendering, path optimization, and crafted cutting-edge tools for the performance evolution. With a passion for innovation, Sunny is now in a mission to make the digital world greener, faster, and a more efficient, one website at a time. And more than that, what is so touching to my heart is the plant Veda, what he has created to serve the community for better environment. So let's hear from the Sunny Gurnani that how innovative thinking led him to come to the plant Veda. Welcome, Sunny. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much, Jaya, and thank you, Tara. I think really wonderful presentation, and I liked really even your consulting name, the Diamond Mind Consulting, which is diamond is the most strongest material which we know of, and we also know to cut the diamond we need another diamond. There is nothing else which is more stronger than that. So really, making the mind as a diamond is one of the making it the most strongest material we know. So that's really great, which you are teaching people to go towards that. uh, yeah, so thank you, Jaya, for the introduction. Let me also start the timer so I don't go over time. Um, just a minute. Okay, so yeah, so regarding the web performance and the speediness of the website, that has been my passion, and that is where I started my career as a computer scientist, and learning and optimizing the web performance became one of my greatest passion. And at eBay, I also filed a patent with my colleague how to measure the performance around the world with various different servers and different technologies. So that's really the passion. Now, what happened is when I started, more towards the optimization and making the world better through the speed of the websites, that's where I realized that, hey, there is actually a big problem in our world, which is the animal farming. And that is what I would like to show today, that why we started. So let me share my presentation, and I think I would need the permission to share the screen. Um, okay.
Would you kindly allow him?
Yeah, I got it. Uh, So I would like to take today's time to explain a bit about how we at Plant Veda used innovative thinking to really build some groundbreaking products. Now, what it all started from is really learning about the cruelty which is happening to the baby cows. Now, small babies or kids, are the most fragile things which are there in the world. And when you see something happening to these small babies, you kind of feel that this is the most cruelest thing which could ever happen. And one day we were just visiting a restaurant in San Jose, California. The name is Vegetarian House. And there, while sitting to get a table, I saw a small play card on top of the table, which said, "How are the baby cows treated in the dairy industry?" And it was a big surprise for me. Like, is there any cruelty in the dairy industry? And that sparkled the question, and I went home and kind of started researching about what actually happens in a dairy industry. So the picture which you see now is actually not from a dairy industry. The baby cows and the mother cows are not allowed to, meet with each other, or even the baby cow can't drink the milk of her own mother directly. They are forced to separate from the first day of birth, and they are basically male cows are very much tortured and killed immediately, and the female cows are kept for the life. And once you know more details about what happens in the dairy industry, it's actually more cruel than even the meat industry. So I had turned to vegetarian because of ethical reasons. And when when I realized that there is actually more cruelty in the dairy industry, I couldn't, I couldn't justify why I'm vegetarian. So I thought this is actually the most, bad thing I'm doing, saying that I'm vegetarian, and I'm still consuming the most cruel thing ever, which is the dairy products. This picture is actually from the Farm Sanctuary. It is the non-profit organization where they keep the farm animals and they save them. Uh, so another thing which I learned also was that the animal agriculture actually is the largest polluter on this earth. It is the largest reason for the deforestation. It is the largest consumption of water, fresh water, and it is also largest producer of most polluted water as well. It uses the most amount of arable land on our hand and produces the least amount of protein for humans. Uh, and it is obviously the most cruel thing which the humans ever do. Uh, and we know the law of karma. The bad stuff we do, the more it will come back and the more bad thing will happen to us. And we really will go on to this endless cycle of, the cruelty after cruelty after cruelty, which we are seeing again and again. The wars keep coming up. We thought we are becoming the most civilized, uh, population which ever in the history, and now again the wars have started, which feels mindless to us. But this is really the laws of karma. It will just keep coming back to us until we stop that. And actually, there is a saying that as long as there are slaughterhouses, there will be wars in the world. And this is really truly coming from that karma. So uh, then learning about this, now I think most people know that animal agriculture is a leading cause of climate change. One other thing which happened also is when I turned my diet to a vegan diet, which was just overnight when I learned about this cruelty, my cholesterol dropped by 100 points. And learning that we could reverse our heart disease by a whole food plant-based diet, it was another eye-opening for me. And my father had passed away a year before this learning due to a heart attack. So that became our mission, and my wife joined in this, and that's why I was able to actually do it. Otherwise I could have not been able to do it, being in a in a in a in a software world, and as well as to start another extremely high demanding business, is to start a company called into this making plant-based dairy products. So what we did is we started a company called Plant Veda, where we make the most innovative plant-based dairy products you could find. So what we started with is the lassis, which is we have won 3 awards with this lassis. Now these are completely vegan. They taste like dairy, but they are completely vegan. They are made from plants. And what we take it to the next level is we use no refined sugars in these lassis. These are sweetened with pure Canadian maple syrup. They have real fruits in them. There is no flavors, not even natural flavors. It's just real fruits made from whole ingredients. There is not even a single ingredient which is refined, and it has billions of probiotics in it. And then we, kept on launching in this category after winning few awards in the lassi category. We kept on launching more and more. So then we launched the coffee creamers, which are also sweetened by maple syrup and a completely whole food. These are probably the only coffee creamers, or one of few coffee creamers in the market, which are completely refined oil free. So there are no oils in that. So we created the formulations which actually bring all the fat from the whole food ingredients like the coconut and the cashews. Similarly, we got into the spoonable yogurts. It took us 2.5 years to build the yogurts. And recently we acquired an ice cream company, which is one of the most delicious vegan ice cream you could find on the market. Now, each of these products required a complete innovation in thinking and complete innovation in actually kind of doing a extremely fast R&D. What has happened in last thousands of years to develop dairy-based products, we had to do it in few years, and that has to happen with a far innovation than what we could do in last 1,000 years. So what we did, for example, is, for example, building our own incubator systems, because it's a lassi, which means it's a yogurt based product. So we need to ferment it at the right time. We need to try fermentation with various different kind of probiotics. Now these probiotics also have to be vegan. We can't use a dairy based probiotic. We have to test it with different temperatures of incubation, different time of incubation, and how much to keep and how fast to cool it down. So all of this required a different idea of machinery, different thought of how to do it, and and all of them also come with extremely high cost. So for example, we were looking for an incubator which could also cool it down and incubate and then cool it down later. It would cost $8,000 to $10,000. Now starting a business, you couldn't spend in an R&D device $8,000 to $10,000 and not have to do anything else. So we innovated in that. We actually found like $100 temperature controller, and then we made an incubator in our own small refrigerator with some heat lamps, and we could automatically programmatically control it that, hey, after these many hours, start cooling, and this is the temperature, maintain it for incubation, and so on. So we could rapidly test the formulations and recipes and come up with a better product. The same thing we did when we went to the production scale. I would like to quickly show you what we have in our factory. So for example, this is actually live factory connected with my laptop right now while I'm sitting at home. So we could see what is going on in our factory, what tanks are doing what, and I could turn on, turn off any of the systems in our factory. So if I want to turn on the agitator here, I could go and just turn it on, and it would literally turn on the agitation at in the factory of that particular tank. So innovation is really which makes that huge change. So this is our factory in Canada, in the Vancouver area. Then another thing which happened is the packaging material. So what we realize is actually the more products we are making, the more we are becoming like a packaging company, not really a food company. That's why you could see that CPG, consumer packed goods, is the category of the of the industry. So the food companies are really delivering food, but it's actually more packaging is what they are delivering. So what we realize is that, hey, most of the value which we are actually delivering on the road is actually the packaging material. It's a lot of cost, it's a lot of waste. How do we innovate on this? So then we went to the next level where we created the bulk products. So now we are supplying the plant-based milks to the universities, big universities like Simon Fraser University, University of British Columbia, and so on, in the bulk 10-liter bags, which are fully recyclable and can fit in your pocket when they are empty. So, again, innovation on every angle. So what you should do as a business owner is think about all these, inefficiencies, and then completely think and innovate that how can you do it better. The same thing goes with your formulations. In our case, we kept on innovating, and it's a constant innovation. It doesn't happen in a day, or it doesn't happen in a a month. You keep on doing it. It's just like how the earth keeps turning around, keeps turning around, keeps turning around, and every circle you take, you get better, and so on. And the same thing happened with our ice creams. Yeah, so that's really what I would like to show you. Again, to end with this, what I would like to share is truly the whenever you as a business owner, you are stuck with any problem, think about how can you get out of this by a innovative thinking. How can you think completely outside of the box? How can you really solve this problem by just breaking the laws of which you see in your industry? You don't have to follow everybody else. You have to completely think out of the box. Think about, I really like what happened in with the Indian space mission, for example. And I was seeing this information which I can share with you. India used to be like, after a very very wealthy country, and then with the under the British Empire, it again became a very poor country. And then the politicians would say that India is really poor. We don't have enough money to run the space program. It was to the Vikram Sarabhai, and Vikram Sarabhai would reply to the politicians that I understand that India is a very poor country. We don't have enough money to even feed our people, and that is the reason I want to do a space program. Now you could see it's a completely different thinking. Now the innovative person is saying, I want to do a space program only because we really are so poor, and the only way to come out of it is actually to build a space program, rockets, satellites, whatever it is, completely innovative, which could get us out of this poverty. And what was done, what was started, what was not done, what was started on a bicycle, the rocket engines were being transported from from the garage to the launch station. And we could see now the India space mission, sending the satellites to the moons, to sending the rovers to the moon. I mean, really one of the top 3 countries of the world who could touch the moon. So so that really gets things out of the world. It's to completely innovate yourself.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Sunny, for sharing this information. And I'm sure people who are watching us online, which is again still 300 plus live viewer, they have learned a lot about the dairy industry, and more than that, how that small visit to the restaurant, you have made it to the big multinational empire at the moment what you're running. And well said, that innovation is not just a one-timer thing. It's not a one-off. You have to continue innovate the thing as you go. As a business person, I completely relate, because it's not something that you're going to do it today, that I'm going to innovate this my product and then tomorrow forget it, it's going to be lifetime. No, you have to adapt, flexibility, and that all works with when you take a time back, set back in your day. And as same Tara said, that once your subconscious alignment sits with that what you're serving, whether it's a product or service, and that is where you sit back and think, and you think, is that exactly I want to serve? Is this what solving the problem? Or am I just following the thousands and thousands of the troops who are going to the same industry? So you must have heard, all of you, how Sunny has said that when you see the problem, whether in a business, personal life, or anywhere, try to solve by thinking, taking yourself out, see the bird view, and think that is it everyone doing it because there is no other way was found, or is this the best way? And even if it is the best way, there is no harm in just taking a U-turn a little bit, or a slight turn, and finding out, is there any other way of doing it? Just following is a dead. but having the innovation thinking, having to think, not just the brain activity, but think, as the Tara mentioned it to us earlier as well, that how can I do it better every day, whether it's a product, services, or even in your real life, in your relationship, how can you make it better? And that question, when you ask yourself, that question, when you ask, sit back every day and you find yourself satisfied or not satisfied, or how can I go extra mile? That is the answer for you to innovation thinking. But innovation thinking comes with a cost as well. And I'm sure these two wonderful speaker has paid a lot from their personal life, from their society, colleagues. Not everyone will accept you at the beginning, but your challenge is going to go on and on. So here we go. Sunny and Tara, we have amazing viewers who are watching us live, and they have thrown a few questions predefined, which we have already sent you as well. So let me ask you one very first question, which I am burning as well to know the answer. So the question for you both is, how do you foster a culture of innovation within your organization, especially when you know the time is the money? You cannot let your employee sit aside and give them a free time, which you can't control, which you can't supervise, whether they are doing innovation thinking or not. So question to you, who would like to go first?
Tara, please.
I mean,
Oh,
that's
And I didn't see the questions, but this is an easy one to answer. I think it is so important. Again, it just really comes back to leadership. You've got to be the change. I mean, I'm a Mahatma Gandhi on my wall is one of my heroes. I think that it's not about changing anything outside of you. When you change what's going on inside of you, the rest will just follow, and you will just know what you need to do when you're looking at this. If you have it, you mentioned if you have an employee who's maybe just resting all the time and not doing what they should do, but it's about lead by example. Really, truly, in business and in your personal life, if you're constantly thinking that the problem is outside of you, you are going in the wrong direction, because the problem and the solution is you. So you've got to go inside you, do the work, lead by example, be a phenomenal leader. And people are looking for leaders. And I think that one thing, I loved your share, Sunny, it was excellent. I think that it's important if you're fitting in and you're going in the same direction as everybody else, you're probably doing something wrong. You don't want to fit in. And if you look at the masses right now, they're heading towards a cliff. So it's so important right now more than ever to get the internal right, to make that decision to be the leader, to again take the focus from out there and go in here. And that would be my answer.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Tara. Sunny, would you like to share some lights on it?
Yeah, I would really echo Tara, is be the change you want to see in your organization. And when your team members see that how seriously you are taking the innovation within yourself, and then they would also start taking that seriously as well, and try to participate in the external events. So what happens is, when you are just internal and talking internally in your organization, then what happens is that people just, your team or your leaders in your company see you as that, yes, this person is just saying this is what we should do, this is what happens, or this is what will change. But when you as a leader start doing more external events, and like, for example, Jaya has invited, and us, Tara and me, onto this session. You also come on this session or similar sessions, and then get the same feedback from people outside you, that, hey, yeah, what you are thinking is right. then your organization takes you even more seriously, because now it's not only you are saying, but it's also others what are also saying that this is the right direction.
Yeah, that sounds so, relatable, I would say. So, hey, audience, you must have heard it. The question was, how do you foster a culture of innovation within your organization? Both our speaker has echoed the same. Be the change you want to see in your organization. So as a leader, you need to understand what exactly you are leading by example. You want to show that how you have created innovation, then obviously your team members will follow you. And very nicely, Sunny has mentioned as well, try to participate in external events, because when it's a human nature, right? When somebody says that, yes, I am a good, but if you get the certificate from other person saying that, yes, this person is good, even though you know by heart the person is saying is 100% for your benefit and is right, but that little confirmation or the certification or the validation from other person, even that is regardless who other person is, makes a huge difference in the mindset of the person who is following you. So you heard both of our speaker, and it was a challenging question for me. Definitely, I could not have answered it, but you both have answered very well. Thank you so much. So that leads to another question, which is, how do you encourage creativity and innovation within your team? It is very important that we should encourage creativity, but when it comes to how, it's not something, the product you place it on computer, it is not something, a chip which you can put it in someone's mind and saying that play the program of the creativity. How do you motivate them to think towards creativity and innovative? Floor is yours.
Tara?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say a couple things here. First of all, we live in a world where there's a lot of distractions right now. And I think that you have to shut off the distractions. You've got to get your mind really calm and quiet. I feel that it is absolutely necessary that you have a regular thinking space or meditation, spending time outdoors, so that you can allow your higher mental faculty of imagination, so that you can spend that time in thinking, dreaming. And I also teach visioneering. As within, so without. One of my favorite authors is Neville Goddard, and he talks about the internal pictures, the internal thinking, the internal thoughts. They're out pictured on the outside. So it's about, again, going inside, spending more time in that space. But I do think that it's absolutely necessary, especially for business owners and individuals right now, where the world is definitely, there's so many distractions. And so we're also seeing, yes, there's good and there's evil. And I think that you have to be very mindful of what you're getting emotionally involved in right now. Those distractions are taking a lot of people sideways. One thing I say is, if you are noticing chaos, drama, or confusion in your life, you're probably going in the wrong direction. And just look at social media. And so it's like, we can use these things for the good, just like we are right now on this Zoom. Use it for the good, use it for growth mindset, use it to give yourself the ability to dream, but you got to shut off. And sometimes you got to unfollow things that are really negative. I mean, if you spend a lot of time watching negative news and you just hear the news guys saying the economy's failing, we're all, this whole last 3 years, everyone's going to die. There's a lot of negative subconscious programming. So this is what I encourage even my team, all my students to do, is to really have a meditation practice, to have a thinking space where they do their best thinking. Your subconscious mind, which is what I work with, is most open to suggestion first thing in the morning and later in the day when it's more sattvic, that's calm. So it's so important, and that's what I would suggest.
Lovely. Thank you, Tara. Sunny, would you like to say anything more about in this topic?
I think Tara said everything perfectly, so I'm good.
Good.
We can go to
Okay.
the next question.
I would add one more thing. I was just
Yes.
thinking, you, Sunny, is I think too, like as a team, Because, Sunny's working with a team. I've got teams. Dr. Jaya, you have teams.
Yeah.
I think it's important too to come together with other individuals that are in growth mindset that have order in their mind. Order is heaven's first law. And that's where you can mastermind ideas around, innovative thinking and using your imagination, because it's pretty amazing when you start masterminding with other leaders, because oftentimes they'll think of something that maybe you thought of, but it just brings it more to the forefront. So that's a really great thing. And it's really essential to do with your team as well.
Wow, that is perfectly answered. I hope you all heard. The question was, how do you encourage creativity and innovation within your team? And the answer was perfectly fine. Sometime you have to shut off because there is so much of going around in the environment, in the social media, in the business. There's lots of aspects you're juggling. And the one way of doing it is regular thinking space. And I never thought about this, Tara, but you made me think. So I will do that. I will make sure that the Mudit who is working in the background will have a regular thinking space. Mudit, would you like that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would.
And yes, meditation. And now it makes sense perfectly why these multi-million businesses, they have a full kind of room for the meditation, and they have a regular activity with the employee for the meditation. So it's not about their personal health, but more than that is just opening up that doors of when you're shutting off outside world and inner world. And I perfectly agree with you when you say spend time with you. And I relate very well when one of the preach in India is a Sadhguru. He also says that the only way out is go in. That's beautifully. So that leads to very last question. And quickly, if you both of you just give a few points, very, very in a summarized way, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to cultivate innovative thinking? Any advices?
I'm going to give it to Sunny this time first because he's been so kind. And I'm waiting for Sunny. So Sunny, you go ahead.
Yeah, so what I understood is recently it's really there are two reasons you start the company. One is you are thinking more of a, from the finance perspective that, hey, I would be making that much money and I would like to start a company and that's how I get my independence and I be my boss and also make a lot of money. Another reason is you think of it as a mission that, hey, I really want to make this change in the world. And that's the reason I want to start this company. Now, I fell I mean, I have done things before where I was doing it for money. But then the reason I started Plant Vida was, or me and my wife and family started the Plant Vida was not really for the first, the make money thing, but it was really for the mission of it. But what I realized later on is actually a mistake. But what I realized on is that, mission is one thing, but you have to make money as well. And that's where you have to start making changes onto the equation because you can't run a non-profit. If you want to run a non-profit, then you have to think of it as a non-profit business and just, get money from the donors and things like that, make a different model. But if you are running a business, the business has to make money as well. And that actually is extremely, extremely hard. Making a company which is a mission-based company and you want to make money out of it, it is extremely, extremely, very, 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 very hard. So if you, yes, and our life is for that. I mean, we all know we are going to die one day. So we are going to die. There is no question about it. Nobody has ever, survived the death. So one thing we know for sure that anyway we have to go away. Now you have a mission which you really want to work on. You want to fix that problem which you see in the world. It is extremely, extremely hard to make, and business is really the way to make changes. Yes, there is a non-profit also way to make a changes, which is also hard. But let's say if you want to do it through the business, because that's what I have experience with, uh, be ready to make that mindset that it is going to take time. It is going to take a lot of sacrifice. You have to put everything on the table that you have to be ready to sacrifice and to make it work. And these innovative thinking would actually help you to make that mission possible. So that the topic of this talk actually will help you to make it possible, because if you don't think innovatively, if you don't think out of the box, then that extremely hard thing, if you do it through the tools which are ancient tools and which are not going to get you out of there, then it is going to take forever. You will do it, but it is going to take forever. But this one will innovatively, it will allow you to actually accomplish that mission in a lifetime.
Lovely. Tara, would you like to summarize something on that, please?
Yeah, so I would say that I would, first of all, just, as a new business owner, operator moving forward, I would just ask myself, like, what do I really want? Like, what do I really, really want? A really big goal. When people come in to work with me, we don't work with A-type or B-type goals. We work with C-type goals.
Mhm.
I mean, you have infinite potential. You are here with purpose. So what do you really want? And, even Sunny, as you're sharing, I can hear the law of belief. I mean, the law of belief is a law of life. Whatever you believe is going to be true. Now, I grew up in a household where everything was hard and money was talked about in a very negative way. There was never enough money and people with money were selfish. So if you believe that, you have to experience that. That's the way that the mind works. So just to get you all thinking, when you start moving towards something that's really big, a dream, you think of all the inventors, it's never been done before, maybe whatever it is that you desire. Martin Luther King, he said, I have a dream. He didn't say, I have a strategy. I work with mindset. I don't work with strategy. Strategy just comes. By the way, you might want to write this quote down. Success is 98% your mindset, and it's only 2% strategy. I spent way too much time in other businesses on strategy, and it really got me nowhere. And that was hard, but that was part of programming. So once you move towards a really, you start dreaming and you start moving towards a really big goal, ask yourself 2 questions. The first question is, am I able? Well, you're God's highest form of creation. You can really truly do, be, and have anything you desire or something better. So it's, am I willing? And that's what Sunny's talking about. Sunny's talking about that, am I willing to do what it's going to take to reach this? Because there is going to be some labor. There is going to be some sacrifice, 100%. But when you're going after something you really, really want, I mean, that's what I love about what I do and all my businesses. And I even look at my family, like I'm looking after my family too. It's like, I would do everything I'm doing, even if I wasn't being paid. I think that most people, and it's a statistic, actually go to work. I think in Canada, it's 75% of people, or the US, it's like go to work, hating their jobs, and at the same time praying they don't get fired. That's not living a life. I mean, your birthright is to live a life filled with health, wealth, and happiness. So again, what is it you really want? Ask yourself those 2 questions. And then I would say, do exactly what I did. I realized that, well, my first mentors were my parents. I outlived my parents, unfortunately. They had a lot of beliefs that weren't serving and that, did not work. So I seeked out and looked for other people that were getting the results that I wanted. And I started working with incredible mentors. And that's what I would suggest.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, what a wonderful way of closing the session today when the answer came, are you willing? And that is amazing. Both our speakers, Sunny and Tara, has echoed the same message. Be ready for the sacrifices you may need to make, and it is a long way. How much you're willing to do, and what I liked it, and such a pleasure, Tara has mentioned it, the law of belief. Yes, what you believe you are going to experience. And Tara, I did note down this quote which you mentioned it, and I will write down somewhere on my wall as well, that success is 98% of your mindset and only 2% is the strategy. And that makes me feel so bad. because I always thought that I don't have a tools, I don't have a platform, I don't have a this strategy, I don't have this. And because of that, I'm not working well. But actually, that is only 2%. So that is something which we as an entrepreneur need to work on the mindset. The good thing about after hearing thing is what I feel good thing is about is mindset, which is my mind, and I'm sure I can control it if I really want to, which is the easiest, cheapest way of innovating any product or service you want. First, innovate yourself. Fantastic. Thank you, both of you, Tara and Sunny, for coming over here, spending your one full hour with us and enlightening us with your experience and years of the knowledge, what you carried, and you pour it in 1 hour time. We love to hear more and more from you. Unfortunately, we have a limited time. So back to the audience. Don't forget to attend our next session, which is on Thursday, 2nd of May, 2024, same time, 4 p.m. London time. And our 5th episode is about strategic networking. Yes, in that session, you will learn how to build a relationship for the business advancement. Don't miss out. Next Thursday, 4 p.m. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to catch our next session live on 2nd May 2024.